What's up, guys? Welcome back. Patreon request from Alex CM Punk 2025, and he sent me this picture to draw. So he asked me to draw his tattoos as well. So I will do my best. I'm laughing because they're extremely complicated. Like, I'd say the tattoo artist spent weeks doing this on CM Punk. Like, if you've ever got a tattoo like this or seen it being done, like a sleeve takes so long. And this is like 2 sleeves and like a chest. I'll do my best. Landscape page. Use a pencil, use an eraser, hit pause if I go too fast. Start with his head up here. I'll have to zoom in because his head is quite small. And his head is tilted, right? So we're diagonal, right? So let's try. So we'll go, he's frowning pretty heavy. Yeah, we'll just get his eye in anyway. So we'll go this sort of square. Sort of top eyelid shaped like that. Because we're so sort of zoomed out, we'll go his iris just there. I'm gonna color it black and leave a highlight, right? Just to be a lot easier than drawing in the pupil. Okay, and he does, so again, so frowning, he's frowning pretty heavy, right? So it's like it nearly, his eyebrow like nearly touches his eye. It might actually, but we'll just go like this. Right, this kind of arched eyebrow and kind of hairy across the top then. He's got bags under his eyes, CM Punk. You know, he looks tired. It's a hard job wrestling. How old is he? To still be wrestling at his age. What a legend. Okay. And then we'll do, so the other one, so it's kind of, he's in 3/4 pose, right? So this side of his face is turned away, so it's slightly smaller. But I'd say if you measured his eye, this space, and if you come across about like maybe a little bit more than that for the next eye, so it's probably like there, right? So you could probably fit his eye in between, and then we'll go up, across, and down. Now we're diagonal down, okay? And we'll just go in the corners here, and then the iris will finish. The iris shape will finish the eye for us. And you just have to do a highlight, color the rest dark. So the reason I'm doing this, when the eyes are so small, if you do the pupil in there, you know, it kind of all mushes together anyway. So it's just the best way to do it when the eyes are so small, I think. Right, and then frown and sort of eyelid lines. So we'll go eyelid there maybe. And then a heavy sort of frown. So not as heavy on this side, but we'll try and make it even. Okay, and then he has a bit of a frown across his nose there. And then those bags underneath his eyes. So, bridge of his nose, very long sort of pointy nose. Like so. Then we have a nostril this side, skin around it, and then a nostril over here, skin around it, And maybe we could see a little bit of the bridge of his nose on that side, but normally with noses, less is more, you know. So you could maybe see a little bit of his nose there. But so this is like his cheek. Just coming around his mustache. So he's all beard then, the bottom half. So we get just his mouth in first. So he's got a relatively flat sort of mouth shape here. Maybe his top lip a little bit and the bottom lip. Very small though. And then the rest is mustache, right? So comes down from his nose and around the corners of his mouth here. Goes right down then to his bottom lip, hooks around. Like so. And then so the beard sort of travels up this way. And then up his cheekbone up here as well. So his chin is real hairy sort of down here, right? So it's all beard and hair, so so sketchy sort of scratchy lines is the best way to do it for beards. Right, and then he's got a V just here for where his hair starts, and on this side we can see like his cheekbone, right? So it kind of pops out from the eye here, just the corner of the eye, and then into the beard. Side of his head, kind of like that. And then we can see an ear sticking out this way. And then ear lines inside, easiest way, letter J. If you want, you can add a bit more. A small skinny ear then on this side, because it's turned away from us, you can't see it as well as the other side. And then his hairline. So your forehead's about the same size as your nose, roughly. So like a little V up there, roughly about the length of his nose. And then his hairline comes around. It joins the side of his head there. And then we're going to go down to the V beside the ear on this side. You got some just lines bumping across the forehead here as well. So hair slicked back in this form. So it's like he's like a Super Saiyan. But there's been many forms of CM Punk. He's in the game a long time. But his hair kind of bumps right around, like slicked back. And then there'll be all sorts of texture lines that bring it sort of together. So like. Okay, that's his head, pretty much. Anatomy now, and then those tattoos. So, head tilted this way, so his neck sort of on this side comes down from his ear. And the neck muscles in the center there. It's kind of leaning back again on this side. Art.Simple. Trapezius. There. Trapezius. Here. Center of his chest, always where these neck muscles meet, right? So it's like his collarbones, but he's very muscular, so they're more like muscle fibers, really, but going this way. Across the top of his sort of shoulder girdle area. So center of his chest. Now, you know, there is tattoo lines here, but just to help us get the center of his chest in the right place, we'll just do this. And then sort of little hatching lines just here for where the chest joins his shoulder. And then chest muscle sort of comes around here. Okay. So then his shoulder. Now he doesn't have massive shoulders. So he has like thin arms. Probably good at pull-ups. He's big lats at the back. We could make the shoulders maybe a little bit bigger just to match him to his chest. No offense, Mr. Punk. Critiquing his physique. So tricep sort of just kind of comes out here. Bicep in there. Same sort of thing on this side. Okay, and then forearm down that way, and he's got those white straps down here. So yeah, his back quite wide coming out there, right? You might hear my kids now, they've started running in the hall. And his diaphragm, he's high body fat percent. Well, like he's a fit guy, but he's not like, you can't see veins or abs or anything. You can just kind of see his belly button here. And then side body like that. Maybe I'll put some abs. Where's his nipples? Kind of there. Where's your nipples, Mr. Punk? Right in his waistband. Right, and then okay, this is back there. Okay, so you got stars down here. I'll just do them before we attempt the tremendous arduous task of drawing his tattoos. So I'm gonna like try and get the big parts in, and then like fill it with the flowers, I think, and whatever else I can see. Really, is there a dragon? But that looks, I'm not sure. Okay, so there's a skull here. Anyway, we'll do that. There's like spikes and everything on top, but we'll just get maybe the jaw. Teeth. So I may have to go a bit faster than normal on this. What way is that? So I think that touches his nose. It's like a crack in the skull, I think. And then there's like waves. Coming out of all this. And again, I'm going to do my best now with this because it's tremendously detailed. I think there's flowers here. Something like this now. And then there's like more flowers on the shoulder. Stuff coming down. There's like, I think lettering here, but I'm not quite sure. So again, anything like this is just going to be sort of filled in with bumpy lines because there's all this stuff spaced in the center, like just to fill out the tattoo, I think. Like red circles here. There's like a face in here. Is that another skull? No, it's a different type of face. Big lips on it. And there's one of those. What is that? That's another face. And again, I'm just doing all this in a rudimentary sort of way because it's very difficult to see and draw. So all these wavy stuff and lines and what's here, like an anchor? Looks like an anchor. It's all dots in between everything as well. Right, it looks like this skull is like shooting waves and stuff outside of here, but just like spiking across his chest, and then more sort of flowers over here. looks like there's a massive snake up here. But I can't really make it out, so... Lots of just spikes and stuff inside here. And it's all sort of colored blue and green. There's bits of red and pink down here. Is that Pepsi? Is he sponsored by Pepsi? Looks like a flower or something. Then like love hearts. That looks like it might be a fish. Water. Okay, that's the best I can do with all that stuff. Now, like, there's obviously, like, you could zoom in. There's, like, detail everywhere. But that would take so long. Like, I don't think I would even finish it today if I tried to. It would be crazy. So I hope that's okay. That's the best I can do for tattoos. It's just, it's a whole thing. Like... so let's try straight edge. Now he did, of course, it's a crazy elaborate font, so we'll do our best with this as well. It's like the Gothic style, you know. Now, I know I'm not saying much, but like you can't, there's not much to describe. It's just, you know, you just draw a straight edge. If you look up the Gothic font, I think it's Gothic anyway, it'll give you each letter if you wanted to get it super spot on. Straight G H. That's a H? How is that a H? What? That is crazy looking. Can't believe people used to write like this. This is H apparently. I suppose it does a bit. Like imagine sitting down trying to write like the Bible or something like this, like months of work. I suppose if you were sitting on an island without internet or anything, I suppose you would do this, wouldn't you? Another. How is that an E even? Making it look more like an E, but... Right, now, I hope that's okay. That's the best I can do for his tattoos, but very, very complicated, all that. And then you gotta add a bit of colour. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.